Hey guys, it's Retro Rose here, and welcome back to Mushy Mondays, where we play a cute, cozy game, and we're going to continue our Life Now and Forever Phase 2. So I hope you're having a wonderful time as you're watching this. Oh my goodness, what is it? Yuck. Sorry, I panicked. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful time as you're watching this, and if you're new here, again, my name is Retro Rose. I play a variety of games. I play cute, cozy games, scary games, visual novels, throwback games, things that I just thoroughly enjoy, and some things that you guys may recommend. I'll be so down to play as well. But without further ado, let's get started. Her hair fluttered in the breeze. Yeah, I've got to be here for you. Are you ready to talk to your parents? She nodded, her jaw set firmly. Let me put it here. I'm gonna call my mom. I'd do it fast. Mr. and Mrs. Bayamon, the younger, you'd met them. They wanted to see Tamarak's friends for the first time they'd visit. Whenever they visit since then, you'd seen them again. Whenever they visit since then, you've seen them again. You were always with Tamarak, yeah? Tamarak gripped the rope hard. Narrow eyebrows shoved her eyes nearly closed. Tamarak plucked her natural bushy brows. We have enough to worry about already. High school is starting tomorrow. Who knows what Mom might try to bring up if I had to call by myself? Her words came out frazzled and emphasized in a bunch of different places. Then she sighed. Tamarak unpeeled one of her tightened fists and adjusted the crook of her arm to make sure she didn't fall right out of the tire. Thanks for letting me drag you into this. Tamarak sighed again. Her head drifted lower and lower until her chin rested against the rubber. Despite the unsteadiness of her position, she was now secure. You beamed with such encouragement as possible. She could do this. It made her grin, a real grin with her lips parted and everything. Oh. Ever since Tamarak had those braces put on, she almost never smiled with her teeth. You knew how self-conscious she was about them. But that rule went away when it was safely just the two of you. But Rose, she rolled her face over, squishing a cheek onto the grooves of the tire. No effort was being expended. My phone is in the bag over there. My leggings don't have pockets. She kicked a leg towards the table 10 feet away from her. The swing weakly twirled her around. Tamarak attempted to keep eye contact with you during the spin. Could you get it for me so I don't have to climb out of this thing, please? Yeah, I don't mind. Thanks, you're the best friend I've ever had. Tamarak stayed sitting pretty while you fetched her needed tool. If Granny's throne was the green drawing room chair, the tire swing was Tamarak's. You undid the flap of her bag. Inside was a smudge-free smartphone. The screen winked at you with a glint of light. It was ready to be collected. You grabbed it. In the seconds you needed to lift the phone and close the bag, you took stock of Tamarak's stuff. A lip gloss, hairbands, her wallet tucked into a side pocket, a white box, probably a first aid kit. There was an open bag of something from the corner store tucked in the corner. It could have been chips or cookies. Couldn't make out the logo. It was just like when you were kids, besides the wallet. Tamarak never had money growing up. Hey, come on. Coming. You stepped away from the table and passed Tamarak her phone. Thank you. Tamarak scrolled across the screen and then she typed. She put her phone to her ear and waited. It rang repeatedly. Mrs. Bayamon, not Granny, did answer. You guess she had anyway. Tamarak's face was suddenly covered by a stiff mask of the real thing. If that wasn't enough of a clue, she started talking. Hi, Mom, thanks for doing this. Rose is here too. We've been hanging out. Tamarak stuck the phone in your face and he closer in your nose to the end of the call for her. What's up? See? Mrs. Bayamon couldn't see anything. She heard it. My mom says his love to you. And so your role in this ended. It was a job well done. The rest was on Tamarak. She bobbed her head while you listened to the list of general pleasant replies. Yep, that's right. Don't worry. Couldn't say for the New Year check-in. The big day of class hadn't happened yet. Tomorrow, it could be a perfect afternoon, or the building could explode. From the side of the conversation you got to hear, her mom never strayed from the safe subject of school, which meant there was even less to discuss. The closer Timrak got to getting to wrapping this up, the higher her pitch got. I love you too. I love you. Tell Dad I love him too. Bye. Timrak tapped the red button on her screen with her thumb. Then she collapsed all over the tire. It was like the one painting with the melted clock that teachers and YouTubers like to show. Timrak's limbs were practically dripping off of her. Seeing her that way was wrong. She looked so out of place. You couldn't help but pause there and acknowledge how wonderful it was that Timrak was still here. Living with her Omi and Opa was meant to be temporary, and it had already been nearly half a decade. Her parents kept in touch and they visited, sometimes more, sometimes less. That inconsistency meant that there was never a sense of normalcy around them, no matter how many months went by. As soon as things were calm enough that you thought Timrak was going to be in Golden Grove forever, her parents would become so re-involved, it was as if they'd pack her bags any day. You lived with a thorn stuck in your chest, one that dug in deeper with each passing season, no matter what, and every so often got jabbed by the unexpected. Maybe that had something to do with why Timrak came across like an outsider. People were holding their breath around her, bracing for when it wouldn't be a false alarm, and for when she'd be gone. And you knew for sure that Timrak struggled with seeing her own presence in that light. She told you about it. How much longer would Timrak Bamon be living right next door? Slowly, Timrak disentangled herself from the tire swing, one leg coming after the other, not letting go of the rope too soon. Nobody wanted her to get hurt right now. The swing did as it was made to do, swing, but Timrak got onto her feet. The first thing she did with her freedom was return her phone to the bag. She stood with her back to you, staring at her phone for any sudden movements. Her parents would never call back. They wouldn't. They wouldn't text so soon after the chat, but what if they did? But they didn't. Timrak twisted her head to the side. You could see her face again, part of it at least. The few inches that weren't covered by her hair or shorter or shoulders weren't completely impossible to make out from your point of view. She smiled. That was enough. We did it. Phew. Phew, too. Mr. and Mrs. Bayamon, the parents. You guess you could separate Mr. and Mrs. Bayamon you knew from the ones you barely seen by calling them Dr. Bayamon and one, Dr. Bayamon 1 and Dr. Bayamon 2. Timrak's mom and dad were both PhD holders and researchers. Oh, they mentioned they were in the process of getting that when you met. At this point, they've gotten those degrees. They honestly seemed cool. Oh no, I don't hate her parents. Yeah, I thought they were pretty inspirational for being intelligent anyways. If your feelings were pretty mixed, if you knew them better, would you like them more or less? Yeah, I think that's kind of how I'm feeling. Timrak tugged at the end of her shirt. You've been quiet for a while. Oh. She made a beeline for the swing. Timrak darted behind it and held on with both hands, and she pushed it towards you. It was the second time she'd done that. Here, you can have a turn. It doesn't have to just be me who uses it. Timrak wielded the tire like it was the steering wheel for her life, and like it somehow controls your future too. I could push you, or she leered at you from over the tire. I could spin you. Spinning a tire swing? I used to do that. We used to go to this park that was completely made, like I kid you not, the whole playground was made out of recycled material, and like the base of the playground was made out of tires. So I just thought that brought that up for me, because when we did swing in the tires, we used to spin each other. We never like actually would swing in it, we would just spin it. Spinning a tire swing. What a wild child. Oh, no. Physically repelled by the suggestion, Tamarack lost hold of the swing. She fumbled to catch it, and luckily she did. If she'd missed, she would have fallen after all. Tamarack hugged the rope to her chest. Her eyes were squeezed together tight, too. That all? No, it won't. Tamarack still wouldn't look at you. You didn't want to push her in that kind of way. She wasn't going to change her mind. You had to move on. Yeah, push me. Okay. She kept her hold strong. I've got it. Get in. Oh no, this was not meant. Oh, for teenagers, it amazed you how long the ground was. You weren't tall by any stretch, but the tips of your toes were still dragging in the dirt. You folded your legs back and squeezed your butt. Hopefully, that let Tamarack move this thing. Great. Tamarack walked backwards, bringing the swing, and you with her. Gradually, you rose higher. She took you as far as her arms could reach. Here it comes. And then she launched the tire forward like you were an oversized baseball. You went into a free fall until the rope caught you on the other end, and the tire brought you home to Tamarack. Her hands made contact with the rubber. She used both arms to shove you off again. Your world tilted and swayed. Your stomach dipped further in the rest of your body. A thrill went through you every time you felt another push. For a moment, you were above it all, completely out of reach. The breeze filled your ears until a hollow thump did. Swing stopped dead. Oof. Tamarack hooked her arms through the center. You held tight to the swing. Tamarack took the hit, but you were the one who got jolted. She didn't budge. Sorry. Following her sight line brought your attention to the house. The back door opened, standing in the doorway frame by life-size vintage photo of Mr. Bayamon. Oh, hello. He gave a tip of the hat to you, the exact same that he did 4 years ago. His jacket hadn't been replaced either. The vest and pants set he wore came from a thrift store. Even that part of the outfit wasn't newly made. Mr. Bayamon's family picked it out for him, blue to make his eyes pop. Older people love their old things. That was never truer than with Tamarack's grandfather. He was a true constant, a boulder that withstood the erosion of time. His hair couldn't get any whiter, his wrinkles couldn't get deeper, right? He'd already reached elderliness when you'd met. What you saw in front of you was his final form. Mr. Bayamon wouldn't have changed a single thing for the rest of his life if he didn't have a wife and granddaughter who made him do it sometimes in little ways. Oh. You adored him? It was nice to have Mr. Bayamon in your life. Mr. Bayamon climbed down the miniature set of stairs into the backyard, bracing one knee with his hand and taking a step half at the time. He didn't put both feet on the same level before going down to the next. Mr. Bayamon was solidly built. That made a risk of accidents more troublesome. If he fell, he'd fall hard. How'd the call go? Oh. Tamarack's gaze met yours. That wasn't much of a call, and that had been her goal. A few minutes of small talk with a friend on standby to make certain it would never went past that. Tamarack summed it up nicely with a shout. Good. You stayed there. You could hang out with Tamarack till Ma was back. Awkward silence. Good. I'll leave you to it. Nice seeing you, Rose. Mr. Bayamon replayed his motions, a lift of his hat and slow journey over the stairs. The boards groaned as he ascended the stairs. Then he closed the door behind him. Tamarack rocked her rope when she pounced. Her eyes burned bright. Ready to go higher? You know I am. With you and Tamarack and the tire swing, time flew by. But eventually the light around you changed. Tamarack's yard became a tint orange and the sun was starting to set. Ma had said she'd be there in the evening, early than she normally got back from work. You couldn't stay there forever. Tamarack waved you off in the backside of the neighborhood and you got left behind you. Oh, dang, that was it? Oh. Well, that is just a demo too. Oh, dang, that was it. I thought we would get some more than that. Oh, let me see something. Ah, dang. Oh, but that's it, guys. I'll catch you guys next time once they drop more for Our Life Now and Forever. I guess they're just dropping it chapter based, but I'll definitely continue to bring this content to you guys. But for next time, I'll catch you next time. Bye.